Each other, we can build these walls between each other, baby, blow by blow and brick by brick. Keep yourself locked in, yeah, we can hate each other and fear each other. We can build these walls between each other, baby, blow by blow and brick by brick. Keep yourself locked in, yourself locked. Oh, maybe we should love somebody. Hey, and maybe we could care a little more. So maybe we should love somebody instead of polishing the bombs of holy war. What if sex was holy and war was obscene, and it wasn't twisted? What a wonderful dream. Living for love, unafraid of the end. Forgiveness is the only real revenge. Oh, so we can heal each other and feel each other. We can break these walls between each other, baby, blow by blow and brick by brick. Keep yourself open, yeah, we can heal each other and feel each other. We can break these walls between each other, baby, blow by blow and brick by brick. Keep yourself open, you're open. Oh, and maybe we should love somebody. Hey, and maybe we could care a little more. So maybe we should love somebody instead of polishing the bombs of holy war. What if love was holy and hate obscene? We should give life to this beautiful dream. 'Cause peace and love ain't so far if we nurse our wounds before they scar. Nurse our wounds before they scar.
Woo! We raised, as you saw in the video, $12,000 in 3 weeks. And so there was an incredible outpouring of money that came to us, and money is still a relevant and real thing. It's exchange of energy. It's a representation of someone's work in certain ways. And so that was really incredible. And that money came largely from this community, and a lot of it came from Colorado as well. What we did with that money is Mark was in charge of actually organizing an incredible crew of workers and builders and people who came to his and his wife, Sandy Stimson's building that they bought and have been renovating. It's on West Low, sort of an artist, mad scientist space. It's really amazing, and I point that out because this project is very much about space and space making and what you can do with that and how you can create opportunity in infinite possibility by creating space as a tool. Essentially we saw that we wanted to be able to offer something that was infrastructure. And so we prefabricated this structure, an old refrigerated box truck. And a lot went into it, an incredible amount of donations. We ended up being able to build the whole thing for $7,500, which is amazing. And there's a huge list of people that worked on it. I really would love to say praising poems about each one, but I can't right now. But something that I saw as a thread of similarity between all of these people that I really want to honor, and Mark represents this as well, and so does his wife Sandy, and actually his whole family. I don't know if you know them, they're awesome artists and brilliant people, but all the people that were able to come and actually work on this project are essentially, in my mind, representations of what Maharishi talks about as products of ideal Vedic universities, which is essentially people who are prepared for the future in that they have followed their own paths and found ways of working in the world that allow them to flourish in sort of unique, strange combinations of things. And those people that have done that were the ones that were able to come and take time out of their lives and make this really incredible, very compact, very efficient design, where we did 4 things, which was bring a mobile structure. This is sort of which means that it's able to move around the camp if it needs to. Pick up water. It holds water, 500 gallons of water. It's insulated. It has a wood stove, and it has 1,000 watts of solar. I lied on the video. I said 1,400, but it's not. It's 1,000 watts of solar and 400 watts of wind. All of this was an incredible engineering feat, and so there was sort of the engineering side, very well designed. There was the arts side, and that artists donated a lot of their work. We had an art show. There was people donated their sort of their body work. People donated various different things to raise money. It was a huge effort, and so all of those people that helped to build that structure, I feel like very much represent this quote that's one of my favorite quotes that really represents what I like to think of as the true potential of a place like Emion, which is education for employment is slavery. If you want people to become masters of themselves, you must help them to evolve in their own. That second part is a paraphrase, but the first part is a true quote, which is education for employment is slavery. And so in that way, all the people that worked on this are sort of the opposite representation of that, and I think that's really exciting. And I'm not going to talk anymore, but I do want to say that it is a little bit awkward to receive this. It's not awkward, I'm delighted, but this project that we contributed this thing to, a very small thing, but a really beautifully successful thing. I want to both acknowledge the success of the very fine, incredible design that held up at every step of the way, but also that it's a really small thing. But if you do awesome small things, they can be repeated, and then you don't have to do the work, other people do the work, and then it's like the ripple thing, you know, the butterfly flies, and the ripples. Anyway, we are collecting donations because we are continuing to send wood because it is really cold there, and really the people that are sacrificing the most are the ones on the ground, and they are still drilling. And life is complicated and really depressing sometimes, and I don't want to end on this note of like it's not over, but what Maharishi does have to say is that we are in a time where things are shaking. And I really like this analogy of like when you're waking up, you have to get kind of like shaken a little bit to wake up, and then you fall back asleep, and then someone comes and they shake you and they're like, Taylor, you guys gotta wake up, and you fall back asleep. And so there's this quote that he said, actually also last night, he said, these are the times of shaking. Waking someone up, shaking from awakening to awakening. I wrote really big, in really, really big letters on my notebook, parents. I wrote parents in my notebook. I'm sorry, I had to grab it. And the thing is that it actually is the most important, and I always get distracted by other details, but I just want to thank my parents because a lot of you know them. They're 2 of the most generous people I've ever met, and the thing is, you can't tell people what they should do, you know? You can't be like, you should do this, and then they do it, because why would they do that if it doesn't mean anything? But if you do what you want them to do, if you do the right thing, I don't know what right means anymore, but if you lead by example, then that is the true way of like instilling goodness in other people. And so I feel like they truly represented that to me. Growing up, they were always taking people in, they were always giving whatever they had, and so really anything that I am able to do in that way is very much because I learned that from them. And so thank you.
So, first of all, I am indeed honored to receive this award for all of the people that helped on the project. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, we don't know who nominated us for this, but you'll get yours. Anyway, I wanted to talk just a little bit about magic. Magic being something extraordinary or unusual. And in this case, magic about what happens when a group of like-minded people get together, coalesce with a common goal. And that is what happened here. The way it works, I think, is that this type of magic has a couple of components to it, and the first would be, let's see what the word is, hold on a second, it begins with S. Synchronicity, okay? Synchronicity is what happens when just the right people show up at exactly the right time and you have no idea how it even happens. It's not something you planned, organized, or anything, it just happened. And I can think of dozens of examples on this project where synchronicity happened. Just as an example, we were trying to figure out how to mount the solar panels on the truck, and we're scratching our heads, and the materials weren't arriving, and there was confusion. And then our friend Dora shows up with these beautiful aluminum brackets that she had picked up from the scrapyard. She said, well, these do, and they turned out to be perfect. And so her timing was exquisite, and so that was synchronicity. The second word is synergy. And synergy, to my mind, is what happens when you kind of sketch out a rough plan, you don't overplan things, and you basically throw things to the wind, and then somehow, mysteriously, the group effort takes on a kind of a spirit, and it's kind of an ethos and a life of its own. And then things just happen for reasons that you have no idea why. That's synchronicity. And so I can think of also dozens of examples when I was literally on my knees praying for a miracle because I had no idea how the next step was going to happen. And just at that moment, now I was on my knees because I was tightening bolts under the truck or something, but I was praying to the heavens, saying, I need a miracle, and then that right person would show up with just the right thing, and so that's that. So my advice to you on all this is to get yourself involved with a project, coalesce with people of like minds, push just hard enough to keep your project going, but make allowances for synergy and synchronicity to happen, because they do not happen by pushing too hard. They happen when the project has a life and a spirit of its own. And so you recognize that and you let that happen. And so my wish for all of you is just that you will get involved with something that along these lines that you can work with, because it is truly an amazing experience. And to my mind, I think it represents the next great thing in human organization. I think we're ready to throw away a lot of the old sort of hierarchical top-down models of the way things are done, and to allow some of these principles to emerge. And so that's our next thing. That's what happened here, and you know, may there be many more things like that for all of us. Thank you.
Scott Terry. Actually, the award doesn't go to Scott Terry. He is an award to this community. He's been an incredible, valuable addition over the last few years. His leadership role in helping to improve mental health awareness in the local community generally, and more specifically for co-founding the Fairfield Mental Health Alliance, which he co-founded with Dr. Craig Pearson. His leadership role was invaluable for this endeavor and to mental health awareness in general. One of Mark's things that he is trying to do and moving forward very quickly in the community is to remove the stigma that's attached to mental health and mental wellness. The stigma that somehow this is not an acceptable way of being. It is what it is. In the same way that we have a broken leg, we do not have a stigma of a person having a broken leg. Some little break in the mind, same thing. The stigma we have to reduce and eliminate. Scott holds a doctorate in education, and on the way to getting that doctorate, he picked up a couple of master's degree, tried to do some other PhD, and he got most of the way through. He's very well educated. In practice for over 20 years now. Currently, Scott is the executive and clinical director of Arden Counseling Center, and he's also where he also practices family therapy. He was co-founder of the Fairfield Mental Health Alliance, as I mentioned, and you can find him weekly on KRUU radio and a programming that he calls Mental Health Matters. He is on the board of 3 mental health organizations and has been a professor at the Adler School of Professional Psychology and the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. As director, founder, and clinical supervisor of the Arden Medical Center, Counseling Center for the past 5 years, he has trained, supervised, and taught dozens of successful therapists in many disciplines. Even though he's in practices mostly in family therapy, he's also qualified in many other areas. To summarize, Mark is a thinker, a dreamer, but I think very much he is grounded in the reality of getting things done. Mark, congratulations. I looked at Mark and I said, Scott.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Let's get a picture. So we march with Dr. Scott.
So cool. I'm gonna put it on my desk. Hi, thank you. I'm really actually kind of blown away to be here, and I am beyond grateful to all of you. This has been quite a journey for me. I actually went to school here, and so it is somewhat full circle to come home again and see Dr. Pearson sitting there, my partner who created this venture with me, and Ken introducing me, my current partner, to make this all happen, just really blows me away. It's been a long time coming home, and I'm just so happy to be here now. But this, beyond being honored and grateful and humbled to win such an immaculate award, I'm here to represent this notion of change through the Fairfield Mental Health Alliance, through this radio show, through the Arden Counseling Center and actually 5 other organizations I run, bizarrely, creating and changing mental health throughout the region. The Mental Health Alliance really has done so much behind the scenes and in front. Behind the scenes to look at policies and procedures and possibilities, to remove the stigmas that Ken's talked about. And in front, we've created all these lecture series, from anxiety and depression to living with mental illness, drug abuse, and suicide prevention. It's just the beginning. And the beginning of what we can create now, that possibility is represented through all of us. I want to thank Ken for his kind words, his organization, his focus, his ability to create change. every day. Obviously, I want to thank Dr. Pearson for his leadership and direction in helping making this happen. There's so many other people like Diana, who has created Hope for Life, one of the Alliance members now, to look at creating educational activities throughout our community, for Brian Lee, for his looking at policies and procedures, but also for looking at how misunderstandings occur. Creating a healing that's been so needed and missing from our community, from our family, and to bring that home every day to us. There's so many other people, from Glenn, who I'm so happy to see here, and Cheryl, from Joe, and Rob, and Kathy, Stephen, Lance, Kyle, and so many others behind the scenes. Some I can mention and some I can't, who have made this possible. Again, to represent this possibility of change. To look at this award as a way to represent all of us coming home, to all of us finding that sense of freedom, to remove stigma, to create understanding, for all of us to find a way to live in Dharma. And I've been blessed through my education, through being here, and through returning home, to be able to carry out that Dharma every day. And that's what I would like to see as the blessing for each and every one of us. And so I am beyond thankful for being able to have this possibility, and to the student government and MUM and whoever nominated me for whatever reason, to be able to find some avenues to serve. So everyone, thank you.